lines. Oh yeah, a bit firmer on the lips. Over the roots. Oops. Good morning, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to a new video, I suppose, setup. And today we're going to look at bike setup. So it's going to be a bit clunky. I generally do this on my own, so to try and film it while we're doing it, we'll see how we get on. But what we're going to do is, I've currently got my settings as they are there written down, and I'm currently running 85/70, 85 positive, 70 in the negative chamber, which is giving me about 28% sag. The rebound is about 1.5 rotations from fully open, and the rear shock is at about 170 psi, giving me 25% sag, and the rebound is sort of six clicks from fully open, and I've got 25 psi in either tyre, front and back. So that's my kind of setup as it is, but I'm going to go back to basics. We're going to go back to what the factory setting should be. This is a dual air fork, which just does an extra difficulty, if you like, or complication to setting up. Was a solo air, you just set your sag, off you go. With this you can set your sag, but you can also increase, decrease the negative spring rate to give you more or less sag, firmer, plusher feel, etc. So that said, let's put it to stock settings, which on my weight, and according to, if that focuses on there, on the back of the leg, I'm about 12 and a quarter stone, which is what, 74, 75 kilos. So that should be 105 psi in the positive and the negative chamber. So let's see what that gives me with regards to sag. Okay, so let's get on with setting up. Okay, so here we are. You just need to release the negative pressure first. Once you've got everything written down, so if all goes wrong, you can do it by using this or by using an Allen key, but I'm going to have this with me today, so just as well learning out. And this way, everything's in there. A little bit of fluid isn't going to get on the disc. So let's just let them out. You might have noticed I'm fully kitted up, water bottle on the bike, I've got all my pads on, my backpack, because when you do this, you need to be at your riding weight, not your race weight. So let's just attach this to the positive chamber. Okay, and just pump this up. Let's just show you, sorry if you can see that. So in the positive, 105 on the dial. So pop your back for there. So 105 in the positive. Let's just pop that back on the negative and put 105 in there. And let's see where goes up quicker, because the negative chamber is a lot smaller volume wise. Mm-hmm. 105. Just take them off for a second. Okay, let's just swing you around this side a second, get the ruler. Don't have, but it's a useful one. Shows I've got my 140 travel. Let's just cycle the forks a few times. Pop your run down. The rock shops suggest you take your sag when you're sitting, but I always do it when I'm in the attack position with the weight over the bars. And sit back. Drop the forks and cleaner. So that's our sag with 105. That's coming out at about 35 mil. As you can see that. From the top of the dust seal to the bottom of that O-ring, it's just about 35 mil. I'm running, so this is 140 travel. So 10% would be 14 mil, 20% 28 mil. So at 35, that's about 25% sag. So that's a good base rate for my weight. We can now take that to the trail and decide if we want a little bit more sag to make it a bit more supple. We want it firmer and add a bit more sag. So then we either add PSI to both chambers, or a bit more, a bit less to the negative. So let's take that to the trail. Same on the rear, we've got that set up at 25% already, so it should be balanced front and back. Let's go to the trail and see how that feels. Okay, see you at the top. The trail, I forgot to mention, I did reattach the valve caps on the positive and the negative chamber. They're all back in order. I'm back on my favourite little short run. The conditions are great, nice and dry, so I'm not going to worry about that. There's a few drops, a couple of little jumps, rollers, roots, so it gives you a good indication of what the ground's doing. We'll try and get a time off this first lip, and I'll say when before I stop at the bottom. We'll just do a few runs on this, and we'll try and time it if I can, to see if one area, however I feel, is faster. So let's just get into it. This is the first one on the setup. I've been through one. So we'll start here. Been through once. Check the trail's clear. It's been a bit windy and there's been a few branches down in places. Doesn't feel quite planted or poppy. Through around there, slightly off camber. A few pedal strokes. And stop it. Oh, then, right. Okay, that was lap one on those settings of 105 in the positive, 105 in the negative. Felt nice. Maybe not quite as responsive, trying to think about it. Felt quite flat. So maybe some more or some less rebound damping just to speed it up slightly. Look at the travel. You know, it's used for what is a fairly good track. There's not many drops, but there's a few little jumps and rollers. We're using most of the travel, and again on the rear using majority, still a bit left for those bigger hits, so I'm quite happy. The rear was feeling good, but we'll play about that in a minute. At the moment we're on 105 positive, 105 negative, and that's the sort of response. It was pretty good. It wasn't too soft and it wasn't too hard, but again, what we're going to try and do is, I'd say that's a good run-of-the-mill setting, but it's not quite spot on for me and not in these conditions. So the point of this is to maybe bracket it and to work out what works best. So we've kind of got a midpoint, which is maybe 25%. I'm going to let a bit out, make it softer, and keep at the minute the positive and the negative the same, so the pressure is equalised. And then after we get a sag and a and a reading we're happy with, we can then mess about with the negative to make it softer or firmer. Happy days. I forgot to say in the description down below as well, I'll drop a couple of links to the SRAM website, which has all the settings and the how-tos on setting the dual air forks and the suspension figures, and I'll do the same with the Fox shock as well. But let's just drop these pressures down to put the sag up, make them softer, see how that responds, and on the back of that then we'll make them firmer, see how that responds. Let's get a happy medium, and once we're happy with the sag, then we'll adjust the positive or the negative to make it firmer and sit up more, or more subtle and dive a bit more if you like. Okay, so I'm just going to pop them down, I think, to around 105 in each. Let's take 10 out in each to 95, and then we'll put 10 in each to 115. Okay, so you're ready for the next run. So that's 105, the next one's going to be at 95. Okay, so we got 95 in both. It's given us 30% sag now, so slightly softer on the front and still equal on the pressures. So let's have a little run, same line, and see how that feels. Seems to track a bit better. Oh yeah, it does feel a bit more planted. Does seem to want to change direction a bit easier. And hug the bends. Okay, we'll see you later if we can work out the timings to see if I can get a time on those runs. But as we can see, we're not quite using full travel, pretty similar to last time really. And obviously the same on the back because we haven't adjusted it. But you know, there's some decent hits. Nothing too big, nothing too fast. But that's at 30%, 95 in both. So go back to the top. We'll go the other way this time. And maybe go down to 20% sag, which I'm guessing. Let's go 10 plus off that base. So we'll put 115 in both. Now when you're doing this, if you take in the air out, you take it out of the minus first, then the positive. If you're putting air in, you put air in the positive first and then in the negative. So whatever you're doing, if you're putting in, go to the positive first. If you're taking out, go to the negative first. Everybody has their own theory on that, but that's straight off the RockShox SRAM website. So argue on in the comments, but I'm just going what they say. Putting pressure in, positive first, then negative, taking it out, take out the negative, then out the positive. Okay, you see at the top, let's put that extra 10 or 20 now back in both to give us 115 and see how she feels. See you in a minute. Okay, so we've just put 115 in the positive, 115 in the negative, so it's going to have a harder ride. There's less sag. It's now running about 19%, just under 20%. I have been running about 20% before, but I find it too hard and I hurt my hands. And this is the whole reason for this video really, because I've moved my brakes, got them adjusted right, because I put a new set on, run my forks a bit heavier to get a bit more pop off the jumps and speed up the rebound, just to get that pop, but I was running them too harsh and my hands were hurting. So yeah, this is why we're here. So here we go, 115 in both. Let's see how this one runs. Feels a bit rougher. I don't know, holding the line, mind. Yeah, it just feels like you're having little shocks through the hands every time you hit something. But yeah, it sent me a little bit further over that, so it's definitely giving a bit more resistance into the lips, giving me a bit more pop. Here we go. Yeah, and on the brakes, oh, I can feel it straight into the hands. So that was definitely harsher, and that's not a particularly bumpy track. Again, use less travel, quite a bit less travel, just showing how harsher it is. And arguably this is typical terrain of what I ride, so that's way too hard. It does give you more pop, more resistance into the lip, if you like, which makes it then argue a better jump bike for that. You know, that's my wheelie ability, not much. A better jump bike, so it was good for that. And really, if I soften the forks off, forget it, Russ. I'm going to have to re-look at those jumps and the amount I preload and unload the front. So far, I would say, even though that was harsher, it did feel better than the mid setting at 25%, but the 30% sag, which again still allowed me, you know, a little bit of travel to hit bigger obstacles, bigger drops, bigger jumps. It just tracked the ground better, much plusher, and you know, I don't know if that's going to reflect it on the timings or not, but it's going to make for a more comfortable ride, that's for sure. So that was the 95/95 in both. Okay, so we've reset it now back to our preferred setting, which is 95/95. Sorry, this side, isn't it? On a non-drive, 95/95. So it's 30% sag. But now we've then dropped the negative pressure by 10 psi to 85. So we're 95/85. This is where the dual air comes in handy. You set your sag with it equal, and then you play about with your negative. So at 95/95 it's 30% sag, at 95/85 it comes back down to about 25% sag. It just, when the negative pressure drops below the positive, it gives it a firmer initial feel, so it just holds the fork up slightly. So the idea is we'll try 85 in the bottom, see how that goes, and then we'll go the opposite, 95/105, which will make it a softer feel. So let's try that. The joys of setting your bike up. Once you've done it, you've got your settings, alright, you shouldn't have to keep going back. So 95/85. Bit vague over there, jumps well over there, off camber bend, hooked up pretty good. Look there, bit washy in that flat bend. Oh yeah, bit firmer on the lips. Over the roots. Oops. Couldn't quite hold that, and to done. Okay, so that was with a slightly softer negative spring, which gives you a slightly overall firmer feel. And although I've not been taking that measurement, I can see by the marks, certainly on this side, that it's still not using quite as much travel as the others. So I would say, well, it does what it says. It held up a bit more, a bit firmer on the lips of the jumps, not quite as harsh on the hands, mind, which was nice. But it was a little bit vague in the bends, wasn't quite holding the bend. I guess the front wasn't tracking it as well. A bit jittery over the root. So let's go back up and bracket in. We'll go further the other way now, so we'll leave 95 in the positive, we'll put 105 in the bottom, in the negative, and in theory that should sit it more into the sag, make it softer. So let's give that a go. Hope we're all keeping up. Any questions, drop them in the comments below. But it's useful to write it down and to do it back to back, because then you'll know how it feels. Once you've got your settings, that's it. You know, the settings are what you want, so you can understand if you're going to do a faster bike park lap on a blue run, you might want it a bit firmer. If you're going to get up on a techie red, you might want it softer, etc, etc. So this is something you've got your go-to settings. So this is the front. We'll then have a look at that, and we'll bring the old rebound in as well. So let's get back up and have a look at the negative. Now back at 95 in the positive, 105 in the negative, and that's coming out at that sort of 30%. So this should in theory mean a slightly softer initial feel, but it should still hold up. So let's give this one a go. Again, same course, same conditions. Feels okay again, all the bounce. Carrying speed well actually. Over there, plenty of grip on the turn. That's nice. Oh, getting through there too. For me it just feels more chuckable and faster. Felt faster. Hopefully I'll be able to do some sort of timing on the footage, and that will confirm what I'm thinking. Again, not as much travel used as maybe the softest setting, but I'm quite happy with that. 95 in the positive, 105 in the negative. Yeah, surprised. I thought I was going to like it the other way round, but that just felt more planted. So let's go back up and look at rebound. Well, that's, as I said, my preferred setting based on those figures of 95 positive, 105 negative, just giving us a slight, I suppose, subtler. I mean, they say it's meant to give you low speed, better small bump sensitivity. I don't know, I mean, I just know it felt better then, it held up bends better over the little roots, which is exactly what they're saying it should be doing. Give me more grip, especially on the off camber bends and the flat bends. So that was good. So this time we're going to look at the rebound. With this particular one we don't get the clicks. We know if we turn it this way it gets faster, like the hair. The rebound gets faster, so less damping. So if pull goes a bit quicker. Turn it this way, it slows it down, it gives it more damping, therefore it takes longer for the fork to return. I've always gone on a rule of thumb is if you push it down, sorry if you can't see, push it down under your own weight and then release that. If the bars bounce back just as the tyre just starts to come off the floor, and I'm not talking like half inch, I'm talking just skips, you know, ever so slightly, that sort of
not even that really, just skips. You can see it just moving. Is about the right rebound. But let's just test that theory. So we're going to wind it all the way fast. So if you like, and I've marked, if you can pick that up, I've taken a black permanent marker and just marked that point that faces me, so I know that's all the way open, and then as I turn it to close it, I can then slow the rebound down. So this is as fast as the rebound will go on my preferred fork settings. Let's see how that feels. Okay, run one with the rebound as fast as you like. I say it's as fast as you like, because my rebound isn't particularly good on this. Feels good. That was quite lively but planted. Maybe a tad fast. There we go. Yeah, very lively. I would describe that. God, it's windy today. Very lively. But turns well. Wasn't pushing too much, to be honest, but one thing I do know is when I run the negative chamber higher than the positive, it just saps the end part of the rebound out, so it slows the rebound. Unintentional consequences of having the negative chamber higher than the positive. So that's full rebound, i.e. no damping, fully open, as fast as this one will go, which isn't particularly fast. You know, the wheel is barely coming off. So now we're going to wind it all the way closed, and all the way closed, and see how that feels. Okay, see at the top. This one's going to be a bit scarier, I'm thinking. So full damping, so the fork is, it comes back up quite slowly, so it might pack down after repeated hits. Certainly after the jumps it's not going to recover as quick, but I'm guessing it's going to feel nice and planted in the bends. Let's have a go. And this is, you know, the idea of doing this, and the idea of bracketing is you kind of go to the recommended settings. Yeah, it does feel nice. And then, oh yeah, it feels glued to the ground, to be fair. But quite dull, quite lifeless. Oh. Yeah, almost feels like you're running with a bit of a flat. Not much pop off that at all. Yeah, I'm still going a bit slower through these bends because they're quite bumpy. And you just know you haven't got the suspension there. It's quite harsh, but for a different reason. It's more of a thud when you hit it. So again, got pretty much the same travel, but I just wasn't recovering, so it was just packing down, and that felt very harsh. So idea of bracketing is you find that sweet spot on the forks. For my weight, the recommendations is 105, 105. I found that a bit harsh, a bit hurty on the hands, so 95 suited me, and then just tweaking the negative slightly to 105 just makes it feel a bit softer over the little bumps, the roots, a bit more control, holds the bends better, so that suits. On the rebound, no rebound, so fully open and fast, felt very lively, a little bit ping bally, and that's not particularly rocky or rooty or fast. All rebound, so full rebound, very slow returning, just felt very dull, bit of a thud, a bit of a boom boom, as if you had almost a flat tire effect. So let's take him all the way open so there's no rebound damping, and using my marker I'm just gonna maybe wind it off twice. So 1, 2. Let's just see how that feels. Okay, see you at the top. Okay, this is front rebound, 2 clicks back from fully open. It's better. Not quite ping-bally. Holding the bends well. Not too bad. That was a better jump. The front seemed to be balanced with the back there, whereas fully closed, obviously the back kicks up. And again. Okay. So that's okay. So that was 2 turns from fully open. So let's go another 2. One. So all I got. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So almost 4. So there you go. Half. 2 is kind of halfway. So let's take him back and just do 1. So we're going to go one click fully open, see if that livens him up a little bit more. Cheers. Okay, back at the top, this time with 1 revolution on the rebound from fully open. Yep, nice and balanced off that jump on that one. Yeah, that feels about right actually. I was quite liking the 2 rebounds, which was kind of midway, but 1 off full is about right. So 1 from fully open, so as fast as you like, to 1 revolution for me is about right. And to be fair, before that I was running it halfway, so slightly slower. So front end feels balanced and sorted. Take a look at the back. We're almost using it, so that's suggesting to me that I may be running my back a bit firm. Although, you know, there's a little bit there for the bigger hits. So let's have a little look at the back. I'm more interested in really in the rebound on the back. to see whether it needs to be a bit faster or a bit slower. So let's go and have a look at that. Okay, so just reset the rear rebound, which I'm quite interested to see what it's like, because I've not really touched that for a while. I've been running it 6 clicks from fully open, so fully fast. I've just put it down to 2, so this should be running faster than it normally would. I've always been scared to, because I haven't wanted it to be bucking me over the back. Nope. I went a bit further, but now I'm definitely a bit more lively around the back. A bit poppier on those lips and a bit livelier, I would say, in the bends, not quite so planted. The back end sitting up a bit more, which is a weird feeling. Kind of makes it feel more like a power slide without the power, if that makes sense, or like you're high siding, but not because you haven't got, because you got too much power on, but because the back end is sitting up or springing quicker, if you like. So on 2, yeah, it felt poppier, felt nicer, more lively. 6 is where I normally have it, so let's take it to 10 and slow it right down. So back at the top, I'm not going to go 10, that's probably a bit too much, but I'm just run at 2 and that was nice and fast. I normally ride at 6 of these notches, so let's go 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 where we normally are, 7, 8. That's about 8 there. So I'm just lining up these notches with that grub screw just to give me an indication. So that's on 8, so that should be a little bit slower than I'm usually running. Let's see if that feels, or how it feels. No preconceptions, let's just ride it and see. The last one, I probably a bit scared of running my rebound too fast before now, if I'm honest, but it felt quite nice. Maybe, ooh, yeah, it almost feels like I'm riding a hardtail with very little pop. Yeah, feels weird. Oh, I'm not looking forward to this, if I'm honest. Oh, yeah, it definitely feels a bit dull on the back. Oh, a bit lifeless. Almost like you're riding it locked out, but you're not. Whoops. Couldn't quite keep my speed through that then. Oh, you know when it just feels wrong? You know it's wrong. And I'm almost didn't want to ride that then, because I didn't want to hurt my bike. Oh, I just felt bad. Same travel obviously, but it was just sitting in the travel, I'm guessing, not rebounding back quick enough to use the travel again. It just felt like I was riding a hardtail because it was too slow. So 2 felt okay, to be fair, quite quick, maybe a bit poppy. 8 was way dull, 6 is where I normally are. So let's get it to 4. Excuse me. Let's get it to 4. Let's count. Get out the way. That's where I normally are. Now let's just go back and count back 4. 1, 2. I am. Get out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that would be 5, that would be where I am 6. So we put it on 4. Sorry if it's not particularly clear, but that indent to the grub screw. So I'm 4 away from fully open, i.e. no rebound damping, so it's very fast. And I don't normally run it this fast. So let's get to the top and give that one a go. Okay, back at the top. This time, rebound 4 clicks from fully open. Oh, that felt lovely. That was lush. Probably the best I've done that jump. Nice and smooth, nice bit of pop. Front and back feel nice and, yeah, balanced, both wheels together there. Not front or rear, which it has been doing. Fully bird, same there. I think that was a nice pen. Holding it, yeah. And nicely off that and come back down. Quite nicely balanced front and rear. I think we found my settings. Unbelievable. Wow. And there's still a little bit left for some bigger drops, bigger hits. Well, that's surprising for me. 'Cause I've not changed that rear shock. I've had the bike a year and I've not changed it really since I've had it. I've been running that number 6. Although the sag's been pretty much the same. And I've always been a bit shy of setting too fast to rebound because of being bucked. But I suppose as my skills increased, then so's my speed, control of the bike, and maybe now it's just time for it to go a bit faster, give me a bit more pop and a bit more balance and control. Same with the front. Pretty surprised there because until, well, last week I had it set up as 85 positive and I think it was 70 on the negative, and it was about 20% sag. So with those adjustments, it was quite harsh, but it was hurting my hands. It was standing up nice, so when I did my steeps, it was standing up and it was great, but equally I didn't have any grip on the bends, and that's why, because it was too harsh. It wasn't digging in, and equally I had the rebound a bit fast, because I had the rebound set at 2 1/4, 2 1/2 turns, which now was sort of beyond half. I've now got it set at 1. So the rebound's a lot faster front, a lot faster back. That's giving me more grip, more control. Pressures are at 25 front and rear, depending on conditions. I generally run 23, 24 on the front and 28 on the back. But I'm just going to run them 25 so it's balanced, front and back, given these conditions. But I'm happy with that. So that's that test track done. Let's go and find another little test track just to see if it runs sweet. All the way down a different trail. Make a note of all these settings because that's my settings going forward. And very happy. So I'll see you at the top of the next trail. Here we go. Starts a bit twisty. Switch from the back end round. Turn it, get off the brakes. Loose, whoa, front end nearly went. Caught it just in time. In the wrong gear there. Yeah, nice, she's drop it here and off the brakes, have a run. Oh, nice. Yeah, that felt really good. Really, really good. Yeah, I think the front, sorry, the front did wash out in that one corner. Might be I need to drop the PSI there 1 or 2 to 23. Bit more grip. But other than that, you can see I'm using again most of the travel. Nice and fast. You felt nice and planted and tracked the ground well. No big hits, but plenty to give a bit more. But yeah, it's dry and it's loose today, so hope you enjoyed that. Obviously my settings are for me, my style, my weight, my particular bike. You know, the same Revelation fork may need different pressures to give you that same feel or settings, but it's more the methodology that you can use. So you might just have a solo air fork or a coil where you just set the sag and go, and that's it. You might have the dual air fork where you can set both positive and negative and get the desired effect. But ultimately it's whether you like riding at 20% sag, 25 or 30. Do you like it firmer, a bit poppier maybe with a faster rebound? Do you like it a bit more plush, hugs the ground a bit better, a bit more bed springy, wallowy, but a bit more comfortable on your hands, and the same with the rear. But do you do it? Do you have it written down somewhere so you've always got to go to reset your pressures, especially when you get your fork serviced, your shock serviced, etc. Hope you found it useful. A few of you made a comment that you'd like to see how I do it, what I do. I'm not saying it's right, but it's a way that works for me, and as you can see, I've not done it for a while, and I've had to change my settings to speed up the rebound to match my new riding style, if you like. And again, in wet conditions, you might just slow it down, take the edge off it a bit. But as always, if you like what you see, please give it a thumbs up. Awesome if you share, and superb if you could subscribe to the channel and support. I much appreciate that, and hopefully it's giving you some good content during these difficult times. Remember to ride safely, trails you know well, and keep within your abilities. But as always, guys, thanks for joining me today. Happy days, and keep riding those blue sky trails. Okay, till the next one.